Hello, captains. There was something that was brought to my attention just a little bit ago regarding recruiting. Um, here, here's here's kind of my view on it. I've given everybody in the fleet, from the minute you get in, you have the ability to invite other people into the fleet. Okay, I realize that I have not made that clear, so I apologize for that. Just to let you all know, you all have the ability to invite the fleet, and I've done this for a couple of reasons. Number one, this really goes back to this is your fleet, you know, and the fleet is only going to be as good as we, as the members, make it, you know. So, as kind of a premise to that, it's kind of like, well, if you're, if you've made some friends, in the game, and you'd like to have them in the fleet, I want you to have that ability to be able to do that, because you can already, you already know what kind of a player they are, what kind of a personality they are, so that's actually the best route to go. That'll probably be a rarity since most everybody's already in fleets, but should you run across that kind of a situation, then by all means, I want you to have the ability to bring them into the fleet. Secondly, recruiting. This comes down to, as it sits right now, I've been doing pretty much all the recruiting, and I think the main reason for that has been that, well, I didn't let everybody know that you could do recruiting yourself, and that it is something that I do encourage. As it sits right now, with us being brand new, only less than a week old, we have very few numbers, and while it's nice to be in a small fleet, especially, you know, um, given that you have less competition for fleet credits and things of that nature. Um, at the same time, um, if you're wanting certain amenities, which I'm sure you do, I know I do. I'd like to get the shipyard upgraded. I'd like a tier 5 shipyard. I mentioned this before. The ship that I've got my eye on, the fleet ship rather, it requires a tier 5 shipyard, and that's eventually where I'd like to see us get to. Is it going to happen overnight? No, but we'll never get there if we don't, put forth the effort. And that's my personal thing. I want to see the shipyard upgraded, and I want to see us have our merchant opened up as an amenity, a feature, so that we can start getting some of the nice fleet gear. Um, but again, these are all things that we're going to have to progress toward. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. We have to progress toward that, and in order to do that and do it effectively, we're going to need members, that donate to the projects, and we all need to be working together um, through the various projects and whatnot to get us where we want to go. But again, this is our fleet, so if we don't put the work into it, and we all don't take responsibility to work toward it, um, then we're never going to get there. You can't just sit by and wait. If you want something, you can't really sit by and just wait for it to be handed to you. You have to actively work on it. It's a matter of a work ethic. Work toward it. Don't rely on everybody else. Hopefully, hopefully everybody's doing that. Now, I don't make policy again stating that I expect everybody to donate X amount, setting quotas, things like that. That's, to me, that's kind of asinine and stupid. This is a game, and we all have things that we're trying to work for ourselves, and I understand that. So there's going to be times where you can, and there's going to be times when you can't. It's not really going to bother me either way. But what I don't want to see have happen is have a lot of people, starting to complain because we don't have this or we don't have that. But these are the same people that aren't even bothering to do anything to try to change that to get us there. So in that capacity, that's also, like I said, one of the reasons why I've opened up recruiting. The more people we have, the faster. Um, Let me rephrase that. The more contributing members we have, the faster we're going to get where we need to go. And I think anybody can figure that out. That's pretty much cut and dry. Um, the mentalities is what needs to change for each of us. We have to think of it in terms of, okay, well, I need to do my part. You know what I mean? And if you want something, do your part. And if you're not getting it, um, then if you're not getting it and you're not contributing, then you really don't have any room to complain. Um, but again, I mean, you all know this coming into it. I'm not gonna impose policy. So it's going to be a matter of we get there as we get there, and we're going to work at it as a group. And if we've only got 3 or 4 people that are actively doing anything to get us there, um, then the rest really have no room to to complain because they're not contributing. Um, but this is what this is about. This is about building a fleet from the ground up. Okay, and that's what we're all doing. You're all part of something very special. I mean, this fleet's I'm hoping will be around for a long time. I'm hoping we're going to get to be pretty popular, and people are going to be able to look at us and say, well, yeah, Vanguard Prime, those guys really have their act together, and the better the better we are as players and how we present ourselves. And I kind of touched on this before um, in the fleet chat just a little bit ago. Our image is going to dictate our reputation. Obviously, our reputation is going to dictate. Um, it'll make or break us as far as a fleet. People. What we want to aim for is at least me. This is my goal, is to become that fleet that everybody wants to join. You know, and when you do that, then recruiting becomes very simple because they'll be beating a path down down to our doorstep, wanting to get in, and it's always better to have too many choices than not enough. It's been my experience. As I said in some other videos, I've run quite a few guilds in clans in other games, and that has always been my focus when I start a player organization like this, is to be the best we can be. But at the same time, this game's a little bit different in that you're not doing like hardcore raiding, like we did in EQ and WoW and things like that. We're it's casual, it's laid back. So really, it all comes down to just all of us, all the members of the fleet, and if we're on the same page and we all want the same thing, as far as progress, getting to a certain point, getting those amenities, getting things unlocked, then we need to be working toward it. That's just all there is to it. It's just not going to happen overnight. There's not going to be a fairy that's going to show up. It's just going to give us, you know, um, what we want. And that's again one of the nice things about building a fleet from the ground up. You actually get to see that progress and be part of it as it's growing. And there's a sense of accomplishment that goes along with that. For every tier that we hit, we can pat ourselves on the back and say, "Hey, we hit a milestone. That's great," and we can just watch it flourish. But it does take work. It's not going to be handed to us on a silver platter. We are going to have to do it. So in any case, let me go ahead and cover this real quick. If you don't know how to invite people to the fleet, I do encourage you. Don't be a jerk about it. There's a couple ways, and people are recruiting in this game. I can't tell you how many times, if I'm not wearing a fleet banner, or I'm not fleeted, and I have tunes, or I had tunes that weren't, I would just be standing there, and then I would get this little pop-up, a fleet invite pop-up, and that person who's inviting me into their fleet didn't talk to me, didn't, not even one word to me, but wants me to join their fleet. To me, it's kind of rude to do it that way. So I'm going to ask everybody, if you're doing recruiting, I do encourage you to do recruiting, but don't do the drive-by method, because that, like I said, that to me, it strikes me as kind of rude. You're sticking a pop-up on somebody's screen. You're not even talking to them. You're not giving them any real incentive, to join. All you're really doing is irritating and annoying them. So I discourage doing that. Let's please not do it that way. If the way, and you've all seen me do it, this is the way I do it, is every time I enter a zone, I do it once. I'll enter a zone, and then I'll have something, set. I've got the luxury of having a programmable keyboard, so I've programmed one key on my keyboard to spit out slash zone, and then the whole message. Vanguard Prime is recruiting, brand new fleet, you know, lieutenant commanders or centurions or higher. I can't remember what all it says. Earn your fleet credits here, because that's pretty much all we have to offer at this point. Fleet credits and being part of building something. But I have that all set in. So what I do is when I zone in, or I go into a new zone, I click on my text box and hit the key on my computer or my keyboard, and it'll type it out, and then I hit enter and it sends it out. But I do it once. What I don't want to do is just annoy annoy everybody to death where they just absolutely hate us. That's what I don't want to have happen. It's a touchy business, doing the recruiting thing, because at the one point you have to get the word out, and that's about the only way to really do it without irritating people too much. Just do it once in a zone. As you go into the zone, just spit it out there, and if people want to join, they will send you a tell, and which is where I'll wager to say, because that's the way I do it, every last one of you that are in the fleet right now, I believe I've recruited, or I brought you in. So that was the way it was done, wasn't it? I put up an advertisement, you responded to it, and then I'd let you know, look, this is the standing rule. Don't be a troll and make us look bad, And if you're okay with that, cool, I'll send you an invite. And that's what I expect if you guys are doing recruiting. Make sure that you let them know that is a standing rule, because I don't want them to be shocked and shaken and have the wrong idea, when they come in, that they can come in and just be a complete jerk to everybody anywhere else, because that's going to make us look bad, and that's not the direction we want to go. Again, it's better to have too many choices than not enough. So what I'd like to see happen is I'd like to see Vanguard Prime become that guild or that fleet that everybody wants to get into. That way, recruiting becomes very, very easy at that point. People are asking you to join, and rather than you asking them to join. So it's going to be a difficult task in this game, because there are so many fleets. But again, there's an area that I plan on hitting as well, and that's the dead fleets. That's a whole, and I hate to put it this way, but that's a whole target market of people that, quite honestly, they have a flag, but they're in a fleet that's not doing anything. They're not progressing. They're not going anywhere. They can't get any credits. They can't do anything. So those are, likely we'll want to see if we can tap into that resource and get those people who actually want to be part of something, and bring them in and let them be part of this. So there's some different things, but how do you do it? Let me go ahead and show you real quick. Let me go over here. It's very, very easy, and every last one of you can do this, okay? All you have to do is, if a person sends you, a response to your advertisement or whatever, then all you have to do is mouse over their name, right click, and then you'll see this right here, invite to fleet. Every last one of you have it, because as I said, I've enabled that for everybody. So everybody has the ability to do recruiting and bringing people in. I would like to see more of that, honestly, because it's a huge undertaking for just one person. As it sits right now, all I do most of the time that I spend is trying to recruit, because our numbers are so low right now. I would really appreciate some help with this, and not just here at the beginning, but always. The more people we have, to a degree, the better off we're going to be, especially starting off. Now later on, I'm not looking to have a fleet that's got 1,000 people in it. That's a lot, and that's quite honestly probably more than what we need. I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity. Has been my experience with all the different player organizations that I've founded and run. Quality over quantity. Yeah, there is a mark. If you graft it out, there is a certain break-even point, if you want to call it that, where there's X number of members' bodies you need to have. but at the same time, that curve also kind of dictates at some point, this is how many you want to have, but then you work at making, those people better, and increasing the quality of player that you get, um, if you can. That's and you'll what you'll end up doing is it'll start filtering itself out. I won't have to kick anybody out, in order to get that to work. Once we hit that mark where we have what we need, we can then become much more selective as far as who we allow in. Right now, like I said, I have one standing rule, um, and that's, again, don't be a jerk. You know, other than that, everybody's welcome because, well, honestly, most people need fleet credits, especially people just starting out. You know, um, this is a great place for them to do that, so that's a selling point for us right now. And we are moving along pretty well. Um, it's only been, like I said, less than a week, and if you go over here and you see what's happening, we're starting to get some of these things done. We've got two right here that are finishing up under the star base. Nothing on the spire, but you look, the spire has got two that are almost done. I may work today to get one of these knocked out if at all possible. This one requires a lot of dilithium. I might be able to swing that, but you can only do 8K a day, so I may need a little help getting that finish knocked out. But I can donate some engineers, engineering DOFs, try to get this one moved along a little bit further, and then this is another 12.5K dilithium that might have to wait until tomorrow or a couple days, if I'm the only one doing it. But you come on up here. Yeah, we've got one here that it's finishing up in 2 hours. Again, I've got another one set up right behind it, but we're moving along really well, and I'm pretty pleased with the progress we're making. We just had a gentleman sign up with us today, and I'm sorry to single you out here, Terry, but even Terry just coming in took notice. Holy cow, you guys have been busy. Good job. So I want to relay that to everybody else who did not get to see that. We got props from a brand new member who's experienced. So that's good. Okay, we're heading down the right path. We're doing well. But we need to let's keep our nose to the grindstone. Get some of this stuff done. I may focus on this one here. Let's get that one knocked out. I can get that one knocked out today, and then get this one opened up. So, yeah, we're moving along. I've been doing some recruiting, and what you're going to see is people are going to join and people are going to drop. Part of that has to do with, well, some people just join for no other reason than they want to try to pillage your bank, your fleet bank. Well, the joke's on them because I haven't even implemented that just yet, and it's not that I'm not going to. It's just that right now in our very early stages, initial growth, I want to discourage thieves, and leeches. There's nothing wrong with when you're in, wanting to donate, items that you pick up, loot that you pick up, to the other members. There's nothing at all wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it's very helpful. But what I don't want to see happen is that that nice purple that you put in the bank for use for one of our members, have somebody join, go in there, grab it, turn around, and throw it up on the exchange and sell it, and then they basically take what they can and then leave. Just they do it because it's a way to make money, which is stupid because, quite honestly, credits are pretty easy to come by in this game. I don't know why you'd have to resort to that kind of behavior, but people do it. So to discourage that, I don't even have it open and available just yet. We do actually have a fleet bank, so if you go to the bank, that slot is actually there, but you'll see it's not being used. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have permission set up for anybody yet. I have literally done nothing with it. There's nothing in it. There's nothing there. It's just a matter of, once we get to a certain number of people and I can at least evaluate, you know, the new members and see, okay, well, so and so has stayed with us, so and so has donated X amount and done so well and is contributing. They look like they're gonna be here for the long haul. Great, let's promote them, and that's what I'll do. I'll promote you up, and then once you get promoted, then you'll have access to the bank. That's my plan. So, but I need some time. Everybody's so brand new. I need some time to kind of evaluate and see where everybody's at before I start moving people up. So, and get that implemented. But that is something that is coming. It's not something that I'm neglecting. It's something that right now it's very intentional that I don't have that, you know, working for us just yet. Okay. Now that being said, please help out, you know, with the recruiting. It's a lot to lay on my shoulders. It's a lot to do, and it's a daunting task as it sits right now. I don't really get to do a whole lot else. You know, I'm really kind of focused on trying to get our numbers up so that we can get these projects flowing a little bit better. They're going okay. Like I said, the progress has been decent. I think we can do better. But not saying that my current members aren't doing a bang up job. You guys really are. But I think if we have more people like that, we're going to be able to get through this stuff just a little bit faster, or even considerably faster, depending on the numbers and the quality of members that we get. And if we can do that, we can start getting all those features that I know everybody wants, and myself included. I want, you know, to see certain things unlocked and opened up as quickly as possible, and I touched on that a little bit earlier. So what we're going to do is just, you know, keep at it, and any help you guys can give me as far as recruiting would be greatly appreciated. I really would appreciate it. It'll allow me to at least get back in the game and be able to play and do some things for myself. Because you have to keep the game fun. You have to keep the game fun. I don't expect anybody to go out there and spend, you know, hours on end like I do, you know, trying to do, you know, recruiting. That's gonna even out. You know, I don't mind putting in the time right now. But you know, the more help I have, you know, the faster that's gonna go. The faster that time comes where I can go back into just, you know, playing for fun. Right now it is a lot of work. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video, and please stay tuned. If you have any questions regarding recruiting at all, please just, you know, shoot me a message, let me know. Or, you know, if you have any other questions or comments, let me know. Okay? Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned.